I'd like to preface this video with a disclosure that I will be speaking about suicide, self-harm, and mental health. Our children and young adults in the United States are being threatened. Now, this threat can be practically invisible unless you're looking for it. It can be almost silent unless you're listening for it. And yet the CDC states that this threat is the second leading cause of death for our children aged 10 to 14, the third leading cause of death for our young adults aged 15 to 24. This threat is suicide. The APA has recognized a 40% uptick in young adults' thoughts of suicide or feelings of hopelessness in the 10 years preceding the pandemic. That's the most recent information we have. Before the pandemic, 40% over 10 years. My name's Steve Flanagan. I'm a member of the National Alliance of Mental Illnesses Crisis Intervention Team. I've worked closely with individuals experiencing mental health crisis, and I've firsthand seen the aftermath and effects of a suicide on the families and communities closest to it. In my professional life, I work with students, school children, and young adults, and I'm so very grateful that some of these individuals feel comfortable enough to speak with me about their past or their current mental health struggles. And yet there's one example that I would like to share of a young adult, of a young man who I never got to speak with. He was bright, he was smart, he was funny, he was on his way to a great career path, he had good friends, and yet he was suffering. He was alone, he was suffering and in pain. And that pain and suffering got to be so great that earlier this school year he made the ultimate decision to take his own life. So it's for that example and many others why I'm giving this presentation. I'd like to give us a few tools in our toolbox if we ever run into a situation, or if we're ever put in a situation where we need to speak about mental health, or if we meet somebody who's experiencing a mental health crisis, we can take a few steps to ensure we don't become a part of that statistic. The first thing I would like to address is the bias or stigma we have here in the United States. It's a disgusting stigma against mental health, and for some reason we want to sweep it under the rug, we want to hide it. The group greatly affected by that stigma, according to the NIH, is young adults. Now, they want to be self-reliant. They don't want to be peer pressured into seeking mental health treatment. In fact, they're being peer pressured away from it. But they're also concerned about confidentiality. They're concerned that what they're sharing won't be private. So a big thing we need to do as responsible adults is show them that, hey, this is okay. It is okay to not be okay. Columbia University's Department of Psychiatry says that we need to start asking direct questions. We are never going to plant a seed in somebody's mind that makes them have those thoughts. So it's totally okay to go up to somebody we think is having a mental health crisis and say, are you having suicidal thoughts? Do you want to hurt yourself? That's not going to plant the seed. If anything, it's going to make that person, that individual, that young adult, that child, it's going to make them feel more comfortable speaking to you about their deepest secrets. They're going to be relieved that you're willing to speak so openly with them. Another thing mentioned is how we need to acknowledge their feelings. We can't just have a passive conversation. We have to be there for it. We have to have active conversation, provide support, and truly, truly listen to their concerns. On the line of concerns, we have to tell them that we're worried for them. We have to let them know that we're concerned for their well-being. Let them know that they're cared about. And lastly, and most importantly, we have to seek professional help. Now, here in the United States, especially here in Oklahoma, I know we have the 988 program, which makes it significantly easier to find somebody or some resource that we can get somebody resources with. Now, it can be as simple as saying, hey, let's sit down. Here's my phone. All you have to do is hit call. And that first call is going to be the first step of many to get them the help that they need, the treatment that they need to succeed. So out of everything I've said all together, the most important thing in this entire presentation is to seek professional help. As always, I thank you for your time. God bless, and have a good night.